Welcome back, guys. Today we continue Ryujin Industries quest chain, and today's quest is called Executive Level. So, let's see. It's time to lobby the board members. Masako will vote to acquire Infinity Ltd, and said I'll need at least half of the votes to secure success. If I have strong feelings against the internal new ramp, this would be my opportunity to get further research through town. Okay, lobby board members for internal new ramp for Infinity Ltd. Let's go. Let's talk with all of these guys. 7 of them.
So much
Alexis,
work to do.
let's start with you.
If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this meeting.
I heard you're not a fan of acquiring Infinity Ltd.
You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd is the Pandora's box of corporations.
What are the details on why you don't want to acquire Infinity Ltd?
I can guarantee that Infinity Ltd was up to more than just the current charges. The process of finding and following up on all those threads won't be easy. I refuse to be blindsided by another corporation's past, so this is going to take a lot of time and patience.
Legal issues aside, the pros of acquiring Infinity Ltd far outweigh the cons.
All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset.
Let's try the 5-point option, persuasion. You can't tell me that negotiating an airtight deal doesn't appeal to you.
If it was anyone other than Infinity, I assure you it would.
You know, the benefits of acquiring Infinity are greater than the disadvantages.
I'm finding myself unable to disagree. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom.
Manipulation work. Have you been preparing for having the internal new ramp on the open market?
Unfortunately, half my department's been poring over documentation, while the other half is writing up what legal guidance they can.
If you want a real legal nightmare, I'd say the internal new ramp fits that bill.
Don't even get me started. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Well, that is one very clear position.
Is there anything positive you can think of about internal new ramp?
Tech like this only has good applications when you have complete control over who uses it. Once that tech hits a market, open or private, that control is gone. And not only that, the tech is out there to be advanced or modified by anyone who might get their hands on it.
Agreed. The internal new ramp never should have seen the light of day.
Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
If you are free soon...
Okay.
I need to focus.
Andreja wants to talk with us. Let's continue with the talking with the board members first, and then we'll get to her. Yo, Dalton. Speak with me.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome.
I was told to use internal new ramp to make sure the board votes to acquire Infinity Ltd.
That blasted tech.
It would be almost fitting to see the technology immediately turned on those who fostered its creation.
If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened.
You were against Project Dominion from the start?
Completely. I understand the success it can bring for the corporation, but my only concern here is security. It's not that the board majority fails to see the dangers. It's that they believe we can overcome them. That hubris could easily bring this corporation down one day. I only hope it won't be on my watch.
Don't tell me you actually disagree with Masako on something.
It's not often, but yes. And I'm not the only board member that initially voted against moving forward with the research.
We saw firsthand how dangerous that tech is. It should never go to market.
You read my mind. Let's just hope Masako and the others see it that way. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause.
Do you think this is the right time to acquire Infinity Ltd?
Well, the timing could be better, but I don't feel strongly one way or another about the acquisition. We've gone through our fair share in the past, and this one would be no different. If Masako wishes to bring Infinity into the fold, I will not stand against it.
The acquisition is worth the work. I know your team can handle it.
I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd. is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
I have things
Okay.
I wish to discuss with you.
Just wait a moment, Andreja. I'll have time for you later.
I hope you're enjoying your new neuroamp.
Indeed. Chair. I don't want to talk with Chair, I want to talk with Genevieve.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side?
Why would you think Masako sent me?
Because that's what I do. You want something in this business? You don't pull any punches. The only real question is just how persuasive she asked you to be.
Maybe. That depends on whose side you're on.
Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light.
What's the benefit of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Infinity is that sad company in distress with thousands of employees terrified of their futures right now. We are the warm embrace of security coming to rescue them.
There must be a downside to acquiring Infinity Ltd. So what is it?
The only downsides are the unknowns. Lyndon and Alexis are gonna have a lot on their hands. Not that I'm getting off easy. Whatever they find, if it hits the public, that's gonna fall on my shoulders too.
Coming to rescue of all those innocent workers will really look good for us.
I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year.
Is the public all you actually care about?
The consumer is our lifeblood. So capturing their wants and desires? Of course, it's all I care about. I'm sure I wouldn't be in this position today if it wasn't.
You have bigger things to think about than Infinity Ltd. When it comes to the future.
Sounds like you've got a bit of your own agenda going on. Well, let's hear it.
Have you considered just how powerful the internal neuroamp is?
Of course, which is why I know it requires some very delicate handling. But unlike Alexis, I believe we can get the proper restrictions and regulations in place to have a marketable product. We do it every day with weapons we arm ourselves and our ships with.
The internal neuroamp, the research should be banned.
The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech. With Ryujin at the forefront, it's not an opportunity you just walk away from.
Do you really think a product that can manipulate unknowing citizens will be accepted by the public?
Not when you word it like that. But a product that can settle disputes or help broaden someone's point of view? Then you really have something that consumers will buy into. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
Can we speak for a moment?
Okay. Now,
You're looking
Lyndon,
interesting today.
talk with me.
Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available.
Good. I wanted to speak to you about the meeting as well.
An efficient exchange, then. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity LTD throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why?
Of course, if we can save the jobs of thousands of people, we should do it.
Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part.
You have the opportunity to do some good here. Why not take it?
That is a plea more well spent on Genevieve or Alexis. I prefer to focus on the numbers and leave emotions out of my decision-making.
It sounds like you already made your decision, so why even ask me?
Perhaps I wanted to see if I could be convinced otherwise. It's easy to say, it's the right thing to do for someone in your position. But for me, Infinity LTD is a huge financial unknown. It's high risk versus mediocre reward.
Okay, let's try the manipulation. We'd be getting employees on Infinity's cheaper salary numbers.
This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation?
We caught them all, so I'd say it was a success.
Any insight into what made it successful?
Because they didn't immediately panic as soon as a problem was brought forward.
Maintaining one's reason in a time of panic speaks volumes about a person's capabilities. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been.
What are your thoughts on the internal new ramp?
It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future.
The internal new ramp, tech like this, is dangerous and should be banned.
It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one. Hence the added motivation that will bolster sales.
And Ryujin, I'm sure you have some thoughts on this matter you could share.
Ah, your companion. I would be interested in another perspective.
You are naive if you think tech like this will remain under control. Think of the Neuroamp in the hands of a Varun Zealot or Crimson Fleet pirate. It is not a matter of if it will happen, but a matter of when. Will you be equipped to handle the repercussions when that day comes?
What makes you so certain this is inevitable? Not that I doubt the scenario.
Simple. It is human nature. Nuclear weapons, chemical warfare, xeno-warfare, mechs. Enemies and competitors will get their hands on this tech eventually and reverse engineer it to use however they see fit.
I admit, you've properly pushed my concerns to the very edge. Your friend here is quite convincing. The internal neuroamp does indeed come with risks, none of which I am inclined to take anymore. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
All right.
If you have the time,
Thanks,
I wish to
Andreja,
speak
for
to you.
your conversation. You helped me.
Hey there.
Vina, I sulk with you.
And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope.
Are those actual side effects?
What? No, of course not. They're purely theoretical.
I'm not here to talk about my health.
Oh, well, at least tell me what you think of the neuroamp.
Vina, this tech is dangerous. No one should have this sort of power.
I hope you're not actually suggesting that the technology I spent years working on and perfecting never sees the light of day. This is groundbreaking work. My life's work.
Do you really not see the downsides of this device at all?
Of course I do. But there are amazing things Dominion can be used for, too. Humanity has always created dangers, and we've always policed them as well. The internal neuroamp will be no different. It just needs to find its place.
You're a scientist. Hear me out. Just look at it from every angle.
Fine, fine. Make your case.
The atrocities that can come out of this using far outnumber the good.
And would I feel responsible
Critical
as the
success,
creator?
nice.
Well, this conversation's made me feel like a proper monster. But you're right. In a perfect world, tech like this is used for good. But this world is far from perfect.
You're not a monster. You got lost in the excitement of discovering something new.
It is. It really is. For years, my only focus has been, is this possible? And then, how do I make it work? I never stopped to consider if it was right, or what it would mean. I guess it'll be up to a vote either way. It's not on the meeting agenda, so I assume you'll bring it up yourself? We just have to hope the others will see reason. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be?
There's bound to be something inspiring or new in their research.
That's what I'm hoping for. They may be the underdog, but that doesn't mean they don't have a brilliant mind or two. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
I would like a chance to.
I guess I'll see you
Alright.
in there.
If you are able.
One more. 16 meters away. I think it's Olara, was it? Quick save. Yep, Olara
Did
Chen.
Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work.
If you acquire Infinity Ltd, you save jobs. It's a good public perception.
Our public perception is good enough. If you ask me, reaching out to save Infinity just makes us look weak. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished.
I'm not using internal neuramp on anyone. It's too dangerous.
That neuroamp is a breakthrough. It gives us the edge in any situation, so get used to it. Besides, most on the board would agree. So why not use it to seal Infinity's fate?
Why are you so against acquiring Infinity Ltd?
The corporate world will hear SSNN's story and believe Ryujin exposed Infinity because they stole from us. It sends a strong message. But acquiring Infinity could be interpreted as a safety net. Infinity tried to screw us over, yet they still survived. We need to be sending a much stronger message. If you mess with Ryujin, we'll shut you down. Period.
The one person I really agree to use manipulation on. Listen to reason, Olara. You know acquiring Infinity is the right choice.
Well, it does make Ryujin look good. And we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting.
Speaking of, I plan on bringing up the internal neuramp as an issue in the meeting.
An issue? That would be a foolish move. Dalton and Alexis are the only two against it. You'd never get the rest to shut it down.
The internal neuramp is dangerous. That tech only spells trouble for Ryujin's future.
Dangerous indeed. For all I know, you're using it right now. The irony. Perhaps I didn't see it earlier, but you're right. The moment a competitor reverse engineers Vina's work, it'll be chaos. The last thing I want is to have my brain scrambled because some engineer didn't do their due diligence. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
Okay, I think I did pretty good job talking with these guys.
If you are free soon,
Let's
could we
talk with
talk?
Andreja now.
I wanted to thank you for giving me the chance to work with you. I know we met under, unusual circumstances. You seem to be acclimating well to Constellation. Are you enjoying working with them?
It's certainly not like anything I've done before.
I think none of us were expecting what we have found. Well, perhaps Matteo. You have certainly become a vital part of the organization. That is a credit to your abilities. If I may, from what you have seen, do you think I fit in well with the rest of Constellation?
If you're asking, I assume you feel like you don't?
No, I do not. But I find it hard to quantify. Many of the other members are polite, but distant. I worry that my background and my actions concern them. I have not shared much, but everyone knows I worked with smugglers for years. I am no stranger to violence and death.
I'm sure you did what you have to.
Yes, exactly. I survived. That was the only goal. For those that have not lived it, it can be difficult to imagine or accept. Others here have seen conflict, but for more noble causes. Vladimir is the only one here who can begin to understand. He was the one who pressed the group to include me. I lack his charm. He puts others at ease. I fear my presence does the opposite.
Have you tried telling more jokes?
Jokes do not come naturally to me, not the way they do to others. If I try, it only makes things awkward.
Okay, so we got a first flirt option. I'm not sure how it works in this game if I am already married to Sarah Morgan. Probably she'll hate me for doing this, but anyway. Trust me, you have a lot going for you.
That is kind of you. You also have a lot going. I find expressing affection difficult, but truly. Thank you. I know this seems trivial, perhaps childish. I have just always relied only on myself. I have never been surrounded by people like this. By a group I wish to be a part of. Does that make sense?
I don't think what you're saying is childish.
Thank you. That is reassuring. Discussing these things is challenging for me. I hope now you can better understand why I wanted to keep the circumstances of our meeting quiet. I wanted to thank you for not saying anything to Vladimir. I know that you said you wouldn't, but it is still a relief. I would like my contributions to Constellation to amount to more than violence.
It wasn't a big deal.
It would have been, to some. Thank you for talking this over with me. It is good to know that at least one member of Constellation understands me.
Okay. Anything else you want to say?
Yes, of course.
Nope, nothing new.
Back to it then.
Let's see. What's our next objective? 20 meters away. Attend the meeting, take a seat. Let's do it. Quick save. Let's see what these dudes decide to do. I'm with the operative suit and helmet.
All right, everyone.
Casually sitting.
As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
The announcement would garner public faith in Ryujin.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
We only lied about Imogen, so Ularu would incriminate herself.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
I told you, you wouldn't get away with it.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up?
I believe work on the internal neuroamp needs to be shelved.
The internal neuroamp is a key component of Ryujin Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
The moment the public learns about it, no one will trust anyone anymore, especially Ryujin.
I'm waiting.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
I must agree. We can't go through with production on technology like this until certain safeties can be guaranteed.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye.
Vina, prep Project Dominion for storage. Any other matters to bring forth?
Well, that was easy.
None? This concludes our order of business for today.
Okay. Let's see. Nobody wants to talk?
Let's just hope this decision to acquire
can't
Yep.
imagine
Infinity
there's going to
LTD
Let's talk with Masako
pans
then.
out.
about this transition.
Shelving the internal neuroamp. Not the outcome I anticipated.
Maybe now you see why the internal neuroamp is dangerous.
A fine point, but it still proves its usefulness. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin.
I hope that means I'll be getting a raise.
Lyndon and I already had that conversation, and yes, you will be getting an increase in wages from now on. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
There was no honor in Ularu's plan. It did not deserve to succeed.
How often does Ryujin have someone turn against the company?
Not often, and certainly not to this degree. We have the occasional employee consider selling information, but thanks to our security and operations teams, we always catch them before any damage can be done. This was the first time anyone from either department was involved.
No pressure at all. These are the types of jobs I live for.
I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, As promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it.
Give me the details on my new position.
As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
Okay. Finally.
If you are free soon, could we talk?
Sure.
I suppose now you can add climbing the corporate ladder to your list of accomplishments. I think it is perhaps for the best that the research program will come to an end. Where that neuroamp technology could lead, there are many bad outcomes. Too many.
What's the worst outcome you can think of?
I was going to say that everyone with an internal neuroamp all trying to control each other would be the worst. But perhaps even more dangerous would be only one person managing to control everyone else.
It almost certainly would be a disaster.
Already there has been too much conflict between corporations vying for this technology. First Infinity, then Ryujin. Who knows what might be next?
The tech would eventually have fallen into the wrong hands.
You presume it had not already? Interesting. You know the people behind Ryujin better than I, but I am not convinced they could be trusted. The project will be shelved, they call it? As I said, too many other bad outcomes. This is for the best. With the neuroamp matter settled, we should move on to other things, yes? What did you need? You do not need to ask.
Okay.
All right then.
I think all the other crew members also want to talk with me about this faction quest completion. Our next objective is to talk with Imogen. Let's find her.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day.
Really? Right back to work?
Of course. If you think anyone here believes in downtime, forget it.
It's good to see you back in the office, Imogen.
And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions?
What's the mission board?
Well, after this conversation, you can head up to your office and see for yourself. Just think of it as a computer that lets you pick and choose your assignments at will, rather than having to deal with me all the time.
What kind of assignments are these?
Nothing you aren't already familiar with. You experienced the majority of what we do here during your training, if you recall. Uploading a few files, manipulating a narrative or two, obtaining schematics, it's just more of the same.
So I don't get to deal with you anymore.
No, but try to see that as an improvement, since I certainly do. The mission board is more efficient for both of us.
That makes your job a lot easier.
I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course.
Can I access the mission board outside of the Ryujin Tower?
No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space.
I'm still going to run this place someday.
At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you.
Okay, examine the mission board is next.
Don't tell me the mission board isn't keeping you busy.
What's it like being back after everything you've been through?
It's a relief. I'll take my desk job over being on the run any day. I was lucky enough to have plenty of connections and favors to abuse in my situation. We'll see how many of those favors come back to haunt me later.
What if I don't want to do this mission board assignment?
If you don't want to earn credits, that's up to you.
but I can understand how lackluster they may seem after what you've pulled off.
Can you give me more details on this mission board?
The mission board is where you receive your assignments from now on. Well, with the exception of the occasional special request from Masako.
Alright. I think these missions are supposed to be the unlimited type ones like we have from the Vanguard section. Okay, next activity. Examine the mission board and let's find our office. Pretty small office, not gonna lie. Ooh. Exterminator modified tombstone. I'll take it. Suppressed fireball. 11mm ammunition. Let's see. Ryujin Industries mission board. Okay, we can take this. Hack the trade tower. Xenofresh fisheries. Accept it. Land evidence at Deimos Star Yard. I'll take it. Sabotage Laredo firearms. I'll take it too. Let's see. They should be in the faction. Nope. They're just in the mission. Okay. Fine. Anything else? More ammunition. 850 credits. Ammunition. Digipicts. Let's see. Recon Stim. Hippolyta. CQBX. And the computer that doesn't work. Okay. So, everything I got from the office. Next activity. Let's go talk with our crewmates.
You couldn't stay away.
Talk with me.
Handling those tricky decisions regarding Ryujin must have been difficult. In fact, I'm amazed you were able to deal with him at all. Those types of corporations remind me why I never ventured into business. I can't stand that way of life.
Dad, can
What way of life is that?
The moral ambiguity, the deceit, the avarice. Mega corporations seem to exude a complete disregard for common human decency.
I couldn't agree more. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And I'm pleased you recognized that Ryujin almost made a grievous error in judgment. After all, based on your recommendation, they've ceased their work on that disturbing neuroamp technology.
What does the neuroamp technology frighten you so much?
You mean other than the fact that it can turn a free-willed human being into a mindless automaton? For you to even ask me that question means you're completely blind to the implications of that horrid device.
Somebody's pushing my character during the conversation. I'm happy you approve of my decision.
Why wouldn't I be pleased about your decision? Can you imagine if that technology had fallen into the wrong hands? The awful things you could force people to do. Oh, it's terribly frightening.
What sort of awful things are you talking about?
How about making someone forcibly end their own life? Or worse, pick up a weapon and start shooting at innocent people? Taking control of someone's mind and implanting suggestions is a terrifying prospect of this weapon.
Agreed. The negatives completely outweigh the positives.
Yes, quite. Well, I've certainly taken up enough of your time. Thanks for letting me get that off my mind. What's
Anything
happening,
else?
darling? No, it's fine. Go.
Nope.
Stay safe, darling.
Next. Let's see. Let's talk with Samco.
You need something?
Yep.
Of all the places in the galaxy, only Neon can make me feel so damn oily. And you dealt with its absolute worst. Ryujin, Infinity Ltd, all of it. You doing all right? That was a lot.
I don't think I could have taken much more.
Well, it just makes you human. How come no matter how advanced society gets, we still just can't help coming up with new horrors to inflict on ourselves. Mechs, xeno-warfare, and now this neuroamp tech. Swear, it's the worst yet. Thank God you put a stop to it.
Is neuroamp tech really as bad as the others?
It's worse, far worse. The other tech is capable of untold destruction, but with the neuroamp, they can take away your very body. They can make you do any damn thing they want. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
Nothing good would come from neuroamps.
Amen to that. With a piece of work like Ryujin, I know there isn't a good person to put in charge. I mean, I guess Masako's better than Ularu Chen, but you just know if violence or being just plain evil was the path of least resistance, then Masako would pick it same as Ularu.
As horrible as Masako is, she was the least bad choice.
You're right. I know you're right. Well, the whole damned affair is over. Thank God.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but a fella could do a lot worse than Constellation.
Do you have anything interesting for me, Sam?
Hope you like it.
Okay. And any more questions?
Depends on the question. Shoot.
Nope.
Bye.
And last but not least, Barrett. Where is he? He's sleeping. Wake up.
Neon. You'd think it would be peaceful with all those calm waters and beautiful sunsets. But I can't think of any town that's more stressful. Ryujin, Infinity Ltd. And there you were, navigating corporate bureaucracy like a professional.
It's easy to handle when I don't need the money.
Humanity went to the stars and explored new worlds. And some still ended up sitting at desks all day long. Not sure if I should laugh or cry. Look, I know Neon is going to be Neon, no matter what any of us do about it. But I'm glad you put a stop to that neuroamp tech. Nothing good was going to come from that.
It would have given Ryujin too much power.
They could control groups, armies. They could have become a military power. I guess we'll find out if we can trust them if you suddenly start coming after all of us, huh?
Why do you think that?
Oh, you know, just that experimental technology that you got installed in your head. Anyway, not that I care a ton about the internal politics of some ethically dubious megacorp, but... So, Masako, huh? I mean, between her and Ularu Chen, I get it, but you don't trust her, do you?
Ularu Chen wasn't an option, so Masako won.
Sometimes the least worst option is all we can get. Anyway, you didn't happen to pick up any investment tips while you were in there? Just kidding. I don't even want to know. What's new?
Do you have anything for me?
Yep. Here. Have this.
Thanks.
Sure. I've got a minute. Please, go on.
Nothing else to say? Okay.
Right.
Let's see. So we have done with the activities. And the faction quest is completed. These are the side missions. So, I hope you enjoyed watching Ryujin Industries question playthrough. So, there was a lot of conversations, a lot of stealth and manipulation in this question. Way more talking than the previous United Colonies quest. So, anyway, in the next part, I think we are going to go and do deputized, I think, quest for the Freestar Collective. It's time to see what's up with the Freestar and what are they up to. So for the next quest, I don't know, maybe we'll take Sam Coe with us because he is the character mostly associated with the Freestar Collective because of his origins. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye everyone.